I'm going to share with you 5 pieces of gear that'll really help you have a successful ham radio portable operation. As a bonus, I'm going to talk about this thing. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Michael, KB9VBR, your host for Ham Radio Q&A. I'm on a mission to inspire and educate the amateur radio community, and today I'm going to talk about 5 little pieces of gear that I find insanely helpful in my portable operations. Most of these items are quite affordable, so you can easily pick them up and add them to your kit. So let's get started. First off, this is a piece of gear that in almost every Parks on the Air video I get a question about. And I've done videos on this before too. It is my little extension cable that I use with my FT891. What this is an RJ45 straight through network cable that allows me to plug it in behind the faceplate of the FT891, and then I can plug in my microphone, I can plug in my headset, and I don't have to keep on taking the faceplate on and off in order to change the hand mic or the headset. Super helpful, super inexpensive, just a great asset to setting up my kit quicker and just to make everything kind of flow through easier. So I'll put links to all of these products down in the video description below. Next up, this is something that you've seen in a lot of my videos, especially when I'm using the vertical antenna like the Wolf River coil, and that's my jaw clamp. This is a CB antenna mirror mount jaw clamp, I think is what they call it. You can open it up to just about any width. This thing will clamp onto picnic tables. This thing will clamp onto barbecue grills. This thing will clamp onto steaks. So it gives you an antenna mount with a 3/8 by 24 stud on one side and a UHF connection on the other side. I find this probably the most versatile piece of kit for that antenna. When I'm not using my vertical antenna, I'm using a wire antenna, like my link dipole antenna or an end-fed half-wave. And if I'm in an area where I can put wire in the trees, I will certainly do that. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do that. You know, people will tie a rope around a rock or a wrench or use a potato gun, and those are fine and well, but really, they're not the most user-friendly, and as for the potato gun, it's really overkill for a simple Parks on the Air activation. If you're going to want to put lines in the trees, I suggest you do what the arborists do and use a throw weight. This is the 12-ounce throw weight from Weaver Leather Products, and what makes this superior to using anything else in getting a line in a tree is 2 things. One, it's a smooth canvas bag. And number 2, it's full of steel shot. So when you throw this in the air, it's going to have sort of a damping effect, and it won't wrap around the tree limbs like something that doesn't have any kind of damping or anything like that. So it makes it really easy to get a line in the tree. And really, for portable ham radio, you only need to get that antenna up 25 or 30 feet, and just about anybody can get this up 25, 30 feet in the air. And that's the Weaver throw bag, Weaver Leather Products throw bag. Number 4 on the list is my power meter. When you're out in the field, you really need to know how much life you have left in your battery. And this is a great tool for finding that out. It'll track voltage, watt hours, amp hours, total consumption in that regards, and you can kind of estimate how many watt hours or amp hours you've consumed for power that's left on your battery. I find that super handy in the field because you can't just rely on voltage alone. With these modern batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, they hold their voltage for a very long time and then they tank. So knowing how many amp hours or watt hours that were consumed makes a really big difference. This last bit of kit is probably not the cheapest, but I find it to be one of the most useful in setting up my portable station, and that's the Rigexpert Stick 230 Antenna Analyzer. This thing is super compact, it's easy to use, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. This will go HF up through 230 megahertz. Two really handy functions on here. Number one is the multifunction. And I'll use that when I put up a multi-band antenna to scan all of the amateur bands, and it'll tell me where the resonant points are for each band and what the average SWR is. Really, really handy, so that I can quickly check and see that the antenna is somewhat resonant, and it's going to work, and that particular deployment is going to work fine. If I want to look, or if I want to tune one of my vertical antennas, like that Wolf River coil, I can turn it onto the single mode, punch in the frequency, and it will constantly measure SWR. So I can look at the meter. This paper white display is awesome. Just in real time, adjust that coil for the Wolf River antenna. So it's really makes adjusting that antenna super simple. Finally, as a bonus, I'm going to talk about this thing. What this is a cross brace for an advertising or a feather flag. This is solid steel. It's 4 legs. It is really really sturdy, and I found that setting this up and using it with my vertical antenna, like the Wolf River coil, works great. It doesn't tip over like other legs do, because this thing weighs about 10 pounds. You know, just throw it on the ground and the legs spread out. So you can clamp your jaw right on here. The only downside about this thing is this top swivels, because like I said, it's made for a feather flag, so it's supposed to swivel in the wind. But if you've got this in a level spot and you put your jaw on here, the antenna really doesn't swivel around at all. So they're about $40 online. I'll put a link down in the video description below. If you're looking for a solid base that doesn't tip over, this is the one you're going to want to use. Well, there you have it. 5 simple pieces of gear that will help you have a successful portable operation. What's your favorite? Do you have a piece of gear that you like to use that I didn't talk about? Well, leave them in the video comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, I invite you to like and subscribe to the channel. I don't do that very often, so if you find this content useful and you want to get more of these kind of tips, like and subscribe, because then you'll be notified when a new video is released. But you know, that's it for this time. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Michael, KB9VBR. Have a great day, and 73.